E X P O S E D. Exposed.
Why Biden will not stop Netanyahu's ethnic cleansing and terroristic genocide of the Palestinian people.
It is crucial to stress that Israel is an extension of U.S. geopolitical power in one of the most critically important regions of the world.
If we look at the Middle East, I think it's about time we stop, those of us who support, as most of us do, Israel in this body, for apologizing for our support for Israel. There's no apology to be made. None. It is the best $3 billion investment we make. Were there not an Israel, the United States of America would have to invent an Israel to protect her interest in the region. The United States would have to go out and invent an Israel. I am with my colleagues who are on the floor in the Foreign Relations Committee, and we worry at length about NATO. And we worry about the eastern flank of NATO, Greece and Turkey, and how important it is. They pale by comparison. They pale by comparison in terms of the benefit that accrues to the United States of America.
We're also going to discuss the ironclad commitment, and this is, I'll say this 5,000 times in my career, the ironclad commitment the United States has to Israel based on our principles, our ideas, our values. They're the same values. And I've often said, Mr. President, if there were not an Israel, we'd have to invent one. I've long said, if Israel didn't exist, we'd have to invent it.
What we're really seeing is having fought Russia to the last Ukrainian and threatening to fight Iran to the last Israeli, the United States is trying to send arms to Taiwan to say, wouldn't you like to fight to the last Taiwanese against China? Iran, Russia, China have all looked at the Gaza situation not as if it's an Israeli action, but as if it's the U.S. action. They all see exactly that it's all about Iran, and that's the one thing the American press only says when it talks about Gaza or Hamas or Hezbollah or any other group. It's always the Iranian tool so-and-so. They're demonizing Iran in the same way that the neocons have demonized Russia to prepare for America declaring an undeclared war against Iran.
And then they say he left troops in Syria. You know what I did? I left troops to take the oil. I took the oil. The only troops I have are taking the oil. They're protecting the oil. I took over
We're taking the oil. We're not taking the oil.
Well, maybe we will. Maybe we won't.
They're protecting the facility.
I don't know. Maybe we should take it. But we have the oil. Right now, the United States has the oil. So they say he left troops in Syria. No, I got rid of all of them other than we're protecting the oil. We have the oil.
As it was carrying out a brutal bombing campaign in Gaza and ethnically cleansing Palestinians as part of what many experts around the world have referred to as a textbook example of genocide. Top United Nations experts have warned that the Palestinian people are in danger of genocide by Israel.
Bombing schools and hospitals and apartment buildings to rubble is not normal. Stealing Ukrainian children from their families and giving them to people in Russia is not normal. We must not let President Putin's callous indifference to human life become our own.
Targeted attacks on civilian infrastructure with a clear aim to cut off men, women, children of water, electricity and heating with the winter coming, these are acts of pure terror. And we have to call it as such.
Bombing children in their beds is not normal.
These are acts of pure terrorism, and we have to call it as such. Mark Regev from the president's office had a conversation with Mehdi Hassan the other day and said, you know, you can't trust the numbers coming out of Gaza because they're Hamas numbers. The world thinks these numbers are largely accurate.
Absolutely, absolutely. And these numbers are very conservative because we have to remember that there are thousands of people who are under the rubble. They have not been retrieved. The casting of doubt on those numbers is not new, but it's really meant to underestimate or to play down the severity of the situation, which the UN agencies have called catastrophic. UNICEF is calling Gaza a place that is turning into a graveyard for children.
Noor, I want to play a soundbite of my colleague Mehdi Hassan's conversation with Mark Regev, who was an Israeli ambassador, by the way, to the United Kingdom, about the killing of children. Listen to the conversation.
You accept that, right? You've killed children, or do you deny that?
No, I do not. I do not. I do not. First of all, you don't know how those people died.
We don't know how those children died. Mark Regev didn't offer an alternate explanation of how those children died, but we know that it's 5,000 plus children. I don't know what the suggestion is, whether the children killed themselves or what's going on. But at this point, we're not having a good faith conversation about how to stop the civilian killings.
We've heard from dozens of UN experts, independent experts, who have warned that the international community is failing to prevent a possible genocide in Gaza. And this destruction is attacking everything, not just the buildings, not just the people, the infrastructure, the hospitals, the universities, the schools. Politicians are willing to live with this. They're willing to live with all those, disregard all those warnings, disregard all of these UN reports, and excuse what's happening in Gaza, excuse the normalization of attacking hospitals, of attacking UN shelters for displaced families. The lie about the South being safe has been exposed many times over already. There is just no place that is safe in Gaza right now, and nobody seems to really want to end that, at least at the political level.
Palestinian children, as all children, deserve to go to bed at night and wake up in the morning.
The final solution. Who defines the words terrorism and genocide?
Biden and the USA? Netanyahu and Likud? The United Nations?
Do you agree? The pot should never call the kettle black.
The land, on which the Palestinians live, is one of the most expensive pieces of real estate in the world. The Ben Gurion Canal is the real reason for the United States and Israeli genocide and ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people.
A question for Biden and Netanyahu. Will the Ben Gurion Canal go through Gaza, and what will be the financial consequences for the entire Middle East and the rest of the world?
No more green on the map of Palestine. Israel from the river to the sea. Over 100 years of killing Palestinians. Mission accomplished.
Full spectrum dominance determines that the Palestinian people must die or be ethnically cleansed.
Now go and smite Amalek, and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass.
1 Samuel, chapter 15, verse 3.